insightful panel discussion on the importance of transferable skills. As we all navigate through an ever changing professional landscape, the ability to adapt and apply our skills across different roles and industries has never been more crucial. And COVID 19 has taught us all the same thing. Transferable skills, what are they, you ask? Those are the versatile abilities that you can carry from one job to another. They're your key to unlocking new opportunities, driving innovation, and achieving success in various fields, whether it's problem solving, communication, leadership, or adaptability. These skills make the backbone of a resilient and dynamic career. To help us explore this vital topic today, we've assembled a distinguished panel of experts who bring a wealth of experience and insights from their respective fields. And believe you me, the people I have on the screen are the best to tell you if you're looking to follow your passion, if you're looking to go get higher education, or if you just want to dive into a completely new territory because they've done it all. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome the panel. First up, we have Deepti Keshri. She's a dynamic professional whose journey embodies the power of adaptability and continuous learning. With an MBA in marketing, Deepti's career began in the world of media. As an intern, she pretty much touched television, radio, news, everything that you can imagine within the media and entertainment space. Her keen eye for detail and creative flair then led her into sales training, laying the foundation for her transition into frontline sales within learning and development. Deepti then pivoted into internal learning and development, and today she's the head of L&D at RateGate, which is a global travel tech company. Deepti, you really set apart and you're self-taught. I want you to please tell us how you made this happen. But first of all, a very warm welcome to you, and we're very excited to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, Sanya. Thank you so much. And thank you to the degree above team. Um, so for my career transitions in industry, yes, I have transitioned a lot, starting from media. Then I worked in training industry, leadership development industry, and then as an L&D in the technology industry, SaaS products industry. The one or two things which I can really tell everyone that if you will always be curious and always remain focused to learn and upskill yourself, that will help you in long way. I have learned whenever I was either in the same industry, either on some other industry, I have learned the skills which is completely not relevant to the current industry, but yes, it has really helped me in some or the other time in my career.
Thank
Yes.
you, Deepti. I'm sure your insights are going to be helpful for our audience today.
Thank you. Thanks, Anya.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you Ashish Gupta, a remarkable individual whose career trajectory has been from technical expertise to corporate leadership to now legal. Ashish, you began your journey as an engineer, passed out from DCE with laurels. You then continued your education and did an MBA in finance and IT from Delhi University, joined Infosys and Cognizant, applied your technical skills there, but I think your ambitions reached far beyond. And then you joined IFCI, which is a major financial institution. And guys, he rose from a senior manager to the CEO within a few years at IFCI. And he didn't want to stop there. He pursued his law. He did his LLB from DU again. And now he's a practicing advocate at the Supreme Court of India. Welcome, Ashish. We're again very, very lucky and excited to have you with us. And I think your fresh perspectives and dynamic career is definitely going to be very helpful for our audience. I want you to tell me the anecdote that you tell me while we was preparing to the audience today. Let's hear it.
Thank you, Sanya, and thank you, a degree above, for giving me this opportunity to be here and be able to speak to young professionals, students, and everybody there. So, as I was telling you, I'll just capture it again in brief. That once I started my career, I used to work out of a huge campus, a 50-acre campus equivalent to a resort out of Bangalore, which everybody knows is the Infosys campus. So as we decided to grow up in the career, what happened was I did my MBA and then came back to a campus which was like much lesser in size with lesser facilities. But then again, as soon as you decide to further speed track your career or grow above in the career, you basically move to a different entity and the building space and the workspace becomes smaller. It was purely a building which was based out of Nehru Place. Subsequently, once you decide to grow your career, fast track, reach higher levels, then the place of work becomes even smaller. We are working out of a row house or a villa in Southeast Asia. Then, when we started growing up in the career, we decided to become lawyers. Then we were working out of the basements in Delhi and Gurgaon. So, as and when we decided to progress in our careers, keep going up, the place of work definitely kept going down. We now are working out of two or three basements, have our own owned places. But then this thing is basically a very important factor that I have realized. As and when you try and grow up in the career, the place of work also keeps changing accordingly.
Thank you for sharing that with everyone, Ashish. Once again, welcome.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for me to introduce our next panelist, Kaustubh Haridas. Once again, a versatile professional with a unique blend of technical expertise and business acumen. He started as a mining and mineral engineer and then navigated into international sales of commercial vehicles. From there on, he decided he wanted to pursue an MBA. And if I'm not wrong, that MBA happened to be in general business and human resources. But then he decided he wants to jump into consulting. And he's been an amazing consultant at Bain and Company, while also recently became a co-founder in the recruitment AI space. Welcome, Costa. We're very excited to have you. Okay. We'll wait for Costa to sort of be able to set up his things. Let me introduce Himanshu Mishra, last but not the least on the panel today, a multifaceted professional who has successfully navigated a diverse career himself. Once again, a graduate from DCE, Ashish's friend, Himanshu built his career in IT services, gaining a lot of experience and expertise in the technology industry. But then he had a passion, and the passion was for music and entertainment. So he decided to follow it and launched his own music tech organization called Groove Nexus. Himanshu currently has a very successful label of his own. You guys must check it out. There's a lot of viral songs already there. He's also an IT consultant and continues to be this diverse and dynamic individual. Very warm welcome to Himanshu as well. Himanshu might not be joining us today live. He's sort of stuck in another event. However, we have been able to capture his insights for all of you, and we'll be sharing that with you as well. So, without further ado, I want to dive into some of the questions that we have all gathered for our panelists today. And should I start with you, Deepti?
Sure. Yeah.
Deepti, please tell me, when you design learning journeys for young professionals, what are some of the key indicators you look for that say that a candidate's transferable skills are good for a role?
Hmm. So, firstly, it depends on what are the business needs and which industry we are into and how dynamic that industry is. Basis on that, and these days the industries are very dynamic. The technology is changing very fast, right? So when we look for the candidate, we design the learning journey to upskill or upgrade the learners. We always keep these key points in mind, and in this dynamic industry it is very important to understand that how good you are as a strategic person. So strategic thinking plays a very important role. Critical thinking, adaptability, because you're changing fast, how adaptable you are with the new technology, with the changing roles and everything. And also I would say that how if you are having a problem solving mindset, the growth mindset, otherwise you will be stuck, right? So there will be changes will always be coming, and you have to really solve the problem fast for any project. So for example, if I have to explain it with an example. If you're in the midst of project, right, and any of the technology behind the project got completely changed, then at that moment, rather lamenting or keep on cribbing that why it has happened, if you will learn fast and go and think strategically that how I have to leverage now this new technology coming up, and how I have to really work upon it. So you have to be that that quick learner, the fast pay you have to keep yourself very fast paced as per the changing environment. Strategic thinker, these are the few skills I would say is very important, and we look for these when we are upskilling the learners and or hiring the candidates. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Deepti. Thank you so much. I think that really puts in perspective how not only when you're looking for a new role, but when you're looking for the next level in your current organization, these skills would help you. Thank you. Ashish, allow me to come to you and ask, what are some of the challenges you faced as you entered a completely new industry after a career transition? And what learnings would you like to share with our young audience preparing for a similar journey today?
Sanya, this question has been asked by a lot of people right from the beginning when I did the transition. So, what I can say is transitioning into a new profession posed several challenges initially, including overcoming a steep learning curve and the need to quickly grasp the industry nuances. Since I had entered a profession at a much later stage as compared to young lawyers, one of the significant problems or hurdles that faced initially was gaining credibility, as it's very difficult for people to trust a new lawyer in the field where my previous experience was very different from this. Because in the courts, you don't just need what you have studied at the law school or what's there in the books, you need to have a lot of practical experience as well. So that was one area where initial it was a little took time to get the confidence of a lot of clients into us. However, this challenge itself became a learning opportunity. It taught me the value of humility, the importance of what we have been concentrating on, the transferable skills like adaptability, problem solving, and effective communication, as these skills are applicable on everybody who are not just looking to do a transition, but even if they're looking to fast track their careers. So I always tell people that you need to manage the aspirations of the people who are working under you or the team that you have, and then you are actually have to manage the expectations of the people who are maybe your clients or the people who are above you or whom you're reporting to. So it's a very mix of effective communications, managing aspirations at expectations of the people around you. So besides this, what I say is it's required to be on the continuous expansion of the knowledge base that is there around you. So my advice to the people who are actually preparing yourself or who by virtue of just being land up into this transition zone is to never underestimate the power of networking, to be able to embrace the unknown, build relationships, keep meeting people, seek mentors in different areas, different domains that they work in, which actually helps you gain a lot of invaluable support, which will help you navigate in this unfamiliar territory. Because it's always advisable to learn from the experiences of other people rather than have all the bad experiences all by yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ashish. I think that was a wonderful answer. And if I were to summarize, what both of you just said, I think you highlighted upon some of the key transferable skills of adaptability, problem solving, strategic thinking, growth mindset. Grasping what's there in your environment in totality. So business requirements, the expectations of your, one above, one below, and definitely staying positive and humble and always learning, which you guys have done. Thank you so much for those answers. Allow me to dive into some more questions that I have for both of you, Ashish and Deepti. Deepti, a question for you here is: how important is it to consciously identify and work upon one's transferable skills? And this is in reference to the ambiguous environment that we all sort of operate in today.
Yeah, actually, you're right. This industry, it's a very volatile industry, right? We call it a VUCA world, right? So in the VUCA world, it is very important for you to have very open-minded, approach, wherein you should always be looking for learning new skills. You should be very curious, because for example, the moment Gen AI or Chat GPT came, right? Everybody is now using, instead of you're just waiting for that whether I have to learn it, how it will work, or not. So when I from the learning and development perspective, if I'll say that whenever I tell people that it can be utilized for many things, like if you have to build your sales pitch, you can give the prompt, you can build the sales pitch. If you have to write an impactful email to stakeholders, give the prompt and you can do that. To create social media post, you are using it, right? But you should know that these skills have to be adapted,
Yeah.
right? You should have that growth mindset. You should not be fixated mindset which only says that I know everything, and I don't want to learn, this won't be helpful, it won't make any difference. But yeah, so we have seen in like 5 to 10 years how the market has completely changed, the industries have completely changed. Even the companies which are not technology driven are somewhere using
Yeah.
technology from behind, right? How social media has made the impact. For that we have to become also we have to build our own brand so that people will listen to us. As Ashish was also saying, that you have to build relationships. For that, to manage the stakeholders externally as well as internally, you should have your own executive presence. You should have that impactful communication when you are interacting with someone. So these are the few skills which really take you in the long run. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much, Deepti. Thank you. That was wonderful. Ashish, I have the same question for you, but a little different. I want you to also touch upon the ambiguous legal landscape that pretty much changes every time you're in the courtroom. So tell me, with respect to the general market, but also when you're in the courtroom, how do you think upon your feet?
So basically, building upon what Deepti had said, and then reiterating and emphasizing on the transferable skills, the problem solving, adaptability, and effective communication, which I feel, so these are especially very important skills where the entire environment around us is ambiguous. So these help us navigate uncertainty. These helps us apply their expertise across different contexts. In a rapidly changing legal landscape, one is should be able to pivot and apply one's skills in this newly changing and invaluable skills that we need to bring to the table. What happens is, suppose you are prepared for a certain case with a certain line of argument. As you know, judges also have read the files very well
Yeah.
in most of these matters. So once you're prepared to argue in a line of action, and suddenly the questions come in a very different manner. So you can actually forget your line of argument there, and you have to pull out the facts. You have to pull out the answers which are catering to the questions being asked by the judges, which has to be taken on the spot. You just can't take a passover. You can't just get the hearings adjourned because the questions have been changed. You are expected to be on top of your cases. You're expected to be on top of the files that you have actually been preparing. So that is one except area where one needs to be actually have a good effective communication or thinking on the feet.
Thank you. I think what you both added on is a research, and you must be well read. And second, also what Deepti said, you have to adapt to the new technology that's coming in. You can't just be sitting with what you know. So thanks once again. Ashish, I'm going to stay with you and ask you: would you hire a younger version of yourself today?
uh, Younger version definitely would have been more employable as compared to the present version of mine. because again, adaptability, embracing the change, the energy. So that's a difference. A 10-year younger me would definitely be more employable.
Perfect. And Deepthi, if you were to hire somebody like Ashish, what are the transferable skills that must be highlighted on his resume? And as a hiring manager, would you look for those skills?
Yeah, that's a very important question you have asked, Sanya, because the candidates, they keep on writing so much in the resume, but for they don't know how to highlight the key skills and the key strengths, right? So firstly, let me tell you, that resume is not that we made one format of resume, right? But it should be tailor made. Whenever you are applying to particular role, please read the job description very carefully, and then according to job descriptions, take out some of the key skills which are resonating with your own key skills. And it is also very important to be honest to yourself. So just for the sake of, because the role is asking some of the key skills, let me write everything in my resume, doesn't make sense, right? So first be honest, because you cannot be good at everything, right? You will be good at some skills, and some skills will take you in a long run, right? So be honest to yourself, have those key skills ready, map it with the job description, and when you are finding it, those key skills resonating with your own key skills or key strengths, highlight them in the resume. You can highlight by describing if you have done any of the project on those skills. Then particularly you can highlight those, writing the key achievements, how you have utilized those skills, what impact it has made, what were the key milestones you have achieved by utilizing, what was the benefit to the organization, has it reduced the the cost, or what was the ROI, kind of thing you can highlight. But also very important to remember that please do not write these in a very lengthy paragraphs. Please write it in only bullet points, highlighting your strengths, highlighting the key points only, because most of the time the hiring managers are very busy, right? They do not have time to go through the lengthy paragraphs and then try to find it out, oh, this skill is there or not, right? So if you will be highlighting in very crisp manner, in a very creative manner, it will immediately, they will able to pick it up, and what they are looking for, if it is matching, you will definitely got a call and opportunity to appear for the next round of interviews.
Perfect. I think those were really great practical examples of how one should build their resume. And very, very crisp at that. Thank you so much for that, Deepthi. I hope you guys have made notes because I know I have. So, as promised earlier, Himanshu has not been able to join us because of some technical difficulties, but we are bringing you his insights and perspectives in a recorded format. So, we're just going to play that now. Um, so, Himanshu, many of our listeners aspire to make a career out of their own passion, just like you have. What advice would you give young professionals who want to follow their passion?
Okay. See, first of all, the most important thing I will like to tell here is, be consistent. So, I'm right now founder of this brand Groove Nexus. This is a music brand, um, and the company was launched like 4 years back. But when I coined the term the Groove Nexus, it was in uh, 17 September 2012 when I booked the domain. That time I was doing a job, so I had this passion, and with whatever limited resource, or whatever you can do, you can probably, your time is also your resource. And you know what I'm trying to say here is, you have to be consistent, you have to take one step in the direction where you want to go. And for me it was like, booking the um, domain, thinking about the name of the brand I want to do in 2012 was a step forward. After that, I registered the YouTube channel, my main YouTube channel, which is a 5 million subscriber channel today. You can go and
Wow.
check the date. It's 17 September 2012. So, but obviously the subscribers and all, they started very late, coming late when we had resources. We started releasing music videos and all. Uh, and then after that, I started a blog on that domain. So today also, groovnexus.com is a music publisher website. So and from there, then we actually started, and then after that we launched our company, and then we actually opened up a studio, and then we have gotten into the music business by uh, launching a label and all. But the initial steps were very important, because if I would have not done it, I probably would be doing any good IT job somewhere today also. So
Yeah.
one is consistency, and second is of course networking. So uh, wherever you want to go, for example, I was kind of stuck in IT, and I always wanted to do this in media and entertainment, music. So networking with the right people helped a lot, because from there I got all the important aspects of it, like, because I never had any experience there, but thanks to my friends in music and media and entertainment, they helped me, by proactively knowing the letting me know the pitfalls and steps to watch out. So
Yeah.
networking that ways helps a lot, because you have if you yourselves are is not an expert, yeah, you have people who are actually experts, who have experience in that particular domain, and then they can help you get into it.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think that's a wonderful perspective once again, Himanshu, where you highlighted upon taking that first step and then being consistent about it. Beautiful example of when you started your YouTube channel back in 2012 and how you reached where you are now. So congratulations first of all on that, and you're a great source
Thank
of
you.
motivation for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So moving on to you, Himanshu, tell me how can transferable skills be highlighted on a resume? And as a hiring manager, do you consciously look for such skills when you look at a resume?
Yeah, so whenever I have recruited, there are some skills which uh, tells about the person. Uh, so these skills obviously may or may not be related to the job directly, but they tell a lot about the person. So I'll give a very different example. In one point of time, I was heading the testing department in a company, the software testing, and I had to hire a tester. And so there were few resumes, and this was a freshers profile. So that there is nothing much in freshers profile to
Yeah,
you know say that okay, A is better than B or what. So so when I was skimming through the resumes, I found that one of the person was a black belt champion in judo karate, and somehow that became very important in choosing that person. The reason
mm,
was not obviously I will be using judo karate in the testing department, but
yeah,
uh, it was pointing to a very important transferable skill, that
yeah,
sportsmanship, the competitiveness. So such people generally excel in whatever they do, because they will be consistent, they'll be so all those things immediately came to my mind, and it became a very important criteria and reason of because others were all had similar profiles, And I don't see that, if someone is getting 80% and other is getting 70%, I have to choose person with 80%. Yeah. But generally, if you see why people choose the people with higher marks, is the same. Probably they are also looking at the same kind of a transferable skill that if he has got good marks, he'll be working hard even in the company. So so similarly, but this was a very good example, and till date, so I'm in touch with that person, and he's doing really well in the career in this testing space. He's really doing.
Okay. I think what you've highlighted, when you switched careers, what were the two most important transferable skills that you think helped you the most?
Okay. Um. So first of all, I'll tell you, like, from um, I switched my career from uh, IT services technology side to the music industry. Um, and the important skills which helped me, because they were, these transferable skills I already had during my, technology industry experience, were observation, being observant, and being proactive.
Okay.
So these two things really helped me a lot when I um, switched the career, because uh, by observing, this was a completely different industry. And okay, I had a very good inclination for music and all, but doing business in music industry is very different. And uh, to know what exactly you have to achieve, you have to first observe what others are doing. People who are successful, people who are failing. So, observation itself is a great teacher. You can, and it depends on you how, minutely you can actually observe things happening. Suppose, giving an example, suppose if a song goes trending, so you can dig further in detail, and you can check out like how it has gone viral, how what was the factors behind it. People generally don't get into all that. They just know, okay, this song is viral, and then that's it. So you can actually observe, you can actually dig the data, and that ways your learnings, they are tremendous. They and this is something you can apply. So I'm giving this one example. And second is being proactive. So being proactive always helps, because sometimes you you are there, and for example, if someone is passing by and you know that that person is from the industry, it can be a networking thing also, you can call it, but you know you can just sit there and think that you'll go and reach them out or so, or you may proactively do that. So
Mm-hmm.
that proactiveness solves a lot of things. Sometimes you are there, but you're still you don't do it. So
Yeah.
uh, and so so these transferable skills were very important when I was in my technology IT services uh, side of things. And then when I switched the industry, these helped a lot in gaining success and moving my way forward.
Okay. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that's very, very helpful for our, young professionals today. Is being observant, and not only that, also digging deeper into what worked and what did not work. Because that's where, you'll apply those learnings to the next challenge or the next problem that you're solving for. Thanks once again, Himanshu. Hi, Kaustav.
Hey, hi, Sanya. Hi.
Finally, we figured it out. So, ladies and gentlemen, I introduced Kostab to you already. We'll dive into the questions that we have for him. Kostab, are you ready?
Ready? Yeah.
Beautiful. So tell me, Costa, your journey has been, one of both formal and informal learning and transitions. What has sort of been your decision-making strategy when considering the transition that you did? And how can young professionals evaluate at what stage or not to make a transition?
Right. So for me, I think the most important thing is, and we discussed this during our conversation, is that am I doing something which is going to get me up on the Monday morning at 8 a.m. Excited about my job? Now, I know a lot of people have these Monday blues, but I try to switch constantly within the role or outside company so that I have that zest on a Monday morning so that I look forward to seeing my job, seeing my workstation, seeing my laptop again. That's something which is a driving factor for me, and that's something that I actually look out for when I'm looking for new opportunities as well.
I think that's a great perspective, and one must really question themselves. Are we happy in what we're doing? That's really, really important. Thank you, Kaustav. Uh, Kaustav, I asked Deepti the same question, and also Himanshu, but I want to hear your perspective as well on this. For you, coming from the corporate side, how important is it to consciously identify and work upon your transferable skills?
Right. I think it's very important, especially so I've come from a sales and a consulting background. For me, I think transferable skills are the bread and butter of my job in consulting. We move from projects to projects in a roughly span of 4 to 5 months. So being adaptable to any new sector that comes our way. So I've moved from airlines to pharma to FMCG to food delivery and all the sectors, and being adaptable to these new sectors and being adaptable to the new challenges that each client presents and each sector presents is very, very important, especially in consulting. Even in sales, you don't know what your client will throw at you or what your customer will throw at you tomorrow. So that is something you need to be prepared about. So I think these two three skills, especially adaptability and being open to newer challenges, I think that's very, very important in life.
Okay. Costa, what does your resume look like? How did you mention those transferable skills when you were moving from international scales of commercial vehicles to consulting?
Right. I think putting something in the resume, I think these transferable skills are something that you can evaluate, although you can put it in your resume, but these are something that any recruiter evaluates better when he or she is talking to you in person or on a Zoom call. I'm starting a new thing very soon, starting a new startup, and when I'm interviewing interns and people who I'll be employing, I get that vibe check within the first 15 to 20 minutes, right? I'll be able to talk to the person, or will I be able to communicate and interact with the person in a job. There's a very small proxy that consultants use for hiring, which is that would you be able to sit beside this person on a flight in an 8 hour journey? And that's something which is a very important proxy that you use or any HR or a recruiter uses, I feel, for deciding if those transferable skills, which are usually the soft skills, does this candidate have that, and would you be able to bring that in a new job if you're looking out?
I think if I were to put together all the answers that I've received for this one, your answer sort of sums it up in the sense that A, you should be highlighting your skills in a certain manner, and especially how Deepti talked us through that. B, what you've highlighted on your resume has to be taken to that first round of interview, and you should be able to articulate on that as well. So, thank you for sharing that, Kostav. I think that's very, very valuable. So, folks, before we move on to a fun section with our panel today, the chat is now open. And while I will be asking some more questions from the panel, you guys please send in your questions at all the different platforms that you're on: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, or even this chat box here on Vimeo. We'll get it all together, and if you have a specific panel you want to ask your question to, please mention the name of the panelist as well. So we'll do one last section, and then we'll get into the audience question and answer round. So rapid fire round for all of you is here. So gear up, guys. Beginning with Ashish. Which skill, Ashish, is your career superpower?
Again, re-emphasizing adaptability.
Adaptability. Deepti.
Being strategic.
Being strategic. Cost up.
I think the ability to sell myself to sell myself and the things. My sales power is something that I feel.
Sales and the ability to sell yourself. Thank you. Guys, name a book that changed your professional life. Deepti, can we begin with you?
I would say ikigai. That
Ikigai.
really helped me in finding my passion and purpose, which is I'm very people oriented. So I always look for the the role where I can be around people. I'm working for people. So I guess ikigai is that book which made me realize. Yeah, thank you.
Ashish, which one is yours?
Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman.
Thank you. Cost up. The book that changed your professional life.
I think for me it will be Harry Potter, probably because it actually helped me understand teamwork and mentorship, and there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely, and for people who don't want to read the book, watch the movies. The learnings are all there. Thank you so much, guys. Costa, coming to you. Finish this sentence. In 10 years, my industry will be
I primarily worked in healthcare, so I'm guessing the industry will be evergreen.
okay. Deepti,
Absolutely unpredictable.
unpredictable. Ashish, what about you?
What I can say for the legal profession is will be more intertwined by technology and data-driven decision making,
I
as
couldn't
courts have
agree more.
already done the transition.
Absolutely. Ashish, your career advice in exactly 3 words.
Embrace the change.
Embrace the change. Deepti,
Never stop learning.
never stop learning. You said it. Costa, what about you?
I'll I'll probably use 4 words. There's something that one of my mentors told me while preparing for JE, which is keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. Thank you, Costa. Name the strangest skill, Deepti, that you've acquired in your career.
Video editing. It's
Video
very
editing.
irrelevant to my role, but it plays a very important role, part in my role. So yeah.
Beautiful, Costa.
I think ability to memorize Excel shortcuts. I think that's something which I don't know where I'll be able to use outside my work, but yeah.
I am coming to both of you for like my next set of stints. You guys know a lot. Ashish, the strangest skill you've acquired in your career.
I don't think a lot of people would agree or not agree, but the strangest skill that I can say is reading facial expressions and body language of the people in the courtrooms, not just the people who are under cross examination, the other counsels, and to an extent, a lot of judges at times as well.
I think both Deepti and Kaustav can apply this as well, right? Both in the learning and development space and now in recruitment, Kaustav. What do you say?
Absolutely.
Right? We're all learning from each other today.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Those were all my questions. And before we sort of let you go, we definitely have the audience questions. But before that, a very special announcement for our audience. I want to welcome Vidhi Kumar, who's our chief coach at a degree above. Vidhi, over to you. Please tell us what we're getting up for.
Thank you so much. Uh, and First of all, thank you so much, Deepti, Ashish, Manchu is not here, but thank you, Sanya, as well. I think it's been very, very insightful to hear from all of you. I'm very excited to have all of you here. Um, a very quick announcement to all of us who've joined here across different platforms. I'm sure you'll love this, and we would love to see you back for the next session next month, which is on appraisals. And if you want to hear more about appraisals, just stay tuned to our community, and we'll be sharing the link to that soon. Over to you, Sanya. We'll move into the question and answer round.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You.
All right, panel. I've asked my questions, but let's see what the audience has for all of us. So the first one, um, it's an open question. So anybody who wants to take it up, please let me know. Which soft skill do you think will be most crucial in the next 5 years in your respective industry? Maybe we can have an answer from all of you on this. Kostab, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I think the ability to engage audience, I think that's something which is very very important, especially while presenting something or just talking on stage. I think that's key.
Okay. Deepti?
I guess building networking, that helps a lot in long run, to go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you. Ashish?
Besides networking, what I feel is effective communication with the people below you or the people whom you will look up to.
Okay. Thank you so much. Um, I think that, yeah, the next question here is, what is your advice on balancing specialization versus generalization?
I can say one thing here is that specialization is one thing that you should try and focus, because that helps a lot of people come to you, and then you should be generalized in other spheres of life or as well, or the other areas of work, so that you are able to assist people, say specifically, if I can say from my profession, clients into multiple domains. So an area where you are being identified as a specialist, where people come to seek your advice, and then subsequently other areas where you can be helpful to the clients as such.
Thank you. Other perspectives on this?
Sure. So I can second the thought of Ashish. You should be specialized in few of the skills, for sure, so that people must know that, for any particular thing, if they have to reach out, whom they have to reach out. However, having some general skills also helps you in building a lot of relationship with others when you are particularly talking. For example, I'm into L&D, but I go to the business stakeholders for understanding the training needs. If I'll not be having any information or knowledge of the business, how it is working, what's trending in market, I'll not be able to lead that conversation. To have some generalization knowledge is also very important.
Thank you. Costa?
I think great points by Ashish and Deepthi. I just want to add something from a consulting perspective. So what happens in, at least in Bain, is that they ensure that you have a few years of generalist experience, because you get to know what are the best practices across industries. So let's say you get some good practices which are there in an auto industry, which you can probably apply in your projects in pharma. So I feel that that's one more beautiful thing about generalization. It actually it gives you an exposure towards the good things that are happening in other domains as well.
Beautiful. Thank you. We do have another question in the chat box. How do you guys see AI impacting job roles in the next decade? Costa, I'll begin with you.
I think I think it's something which is a very symbiotic relationship. It'll be a coexisting thing, although there will be some things which are replaced by AI. But in the end, the one who is making the and then formatting this AI language and the LLMs would be the human. So I feel it'll be a very symbiotic relationship.
Okay. Deepti?
One thing I'll say, people have started, fearing about coming of AI, that, my role will not be there, or, AI will take over completely. I must say that it's not gonna happen. AI will always be handled by human. But as an individual, as a professional, we should be aware of how to utilize AI. That will really help in understanding. As I gave example, how to improvise your sales pitch, how to even in the learning and development, how to build a good the training script or concepts, we are taking the help of AI. Even in the video self-paced learnings, we are taking the help of AI. but where to use it, that mind will come always from the human side, right? So no need to fear, but yes, learn and utilize it as much as you can.
Ashish, what's your perspective from a legal landscape?
Similarly, AI helps you save time. AI helps you collecting a lot of data, but the real intelligence has to be on top of the AI to help you move forward.
Yeah, and what do you want to talk about AI giving judgments and how?
No, not as of now. Not as of now.
Yeah, I thought so. Um, do we have any other questions from the audience? We still have a few minutes to go, so we'll be happy to take more questions. How do you advise putting up part-time roles to recruit? Um, I think we're missing something here.
I
To
think the
recruiter.
recruiters, especially those
Okay,
who
so I can't read it on my screen. There you go. The questions are for you anyway. So recruiters, especially those who only value full-time roles.
So we in our profession do look up to specialized people in specific say domains. People maybe in the money laundering space, white collar crime. So I can have a lot of examples like this, but say there is a specialized skill. It's not basically a part time role there or a full time role there. It's a specialized skill that we definitely reach out to people for. That's what I can say.
Costa?
I think I feel it's very important to put them because learnings are important, and not the if you're a part time or not. So working even though if you worked as a part time employee somewhere, if you're able to learn at least 3 4 good things out of it, I think it'll have a lot of value.
Deepti?
So there are two things. First, if you are working as a consultant, you can take part time lot many roles, right? And it gives a lot of perspective and learning a lot, because with different industries or different set of clients, you learn a lot. However, when you are in a full time role, looking for another role, doing moonlighting, which is a new concept in the industry today, is not ethically correct. So I would rather say, do not go in your full time role. Please concentrate over there. There are a lot of opportunity to grow, to keep growing, explore that, learn more, and look from that perspective.
Thank you. We do have another question. Um, what are important skills in midterm career? Um, the logos on my screen, really can't read the questions. Vidit, do you want to fill up for me here?
What are the important skills in midterm career which can help in transitioning in the current markets scenario?
Again, important is adaptability. Why do you have to have all your experiences by yourself by having a 9 to 6 kind of a setup and only learning in those 9 hours? You have to be open to be learning over a longer period of time from multiple mentors,
True.
from people who are senior into this industry. That will help you fast track your career. So from a midterm career, you would definitely want to be in the senior management.
Deepti?
I would say growth mindset, because it happens that when we are in the middle of our career, sometimes we start thinking that we know a lot now, and there's no need to have some other perspective or something. But having growth mindset will always give you a new perspective, learning new and adapting fast to the new technologies and the new changes happening. And always remember that change is the only constant thing, so you have to be prepared for that. For that, growth mindset really helps.
Costa?
Right. So I'm currently, I just came out of a current market, job market scenario. So I feel this is a little like I'll be able to answer this a little more personally, which is that I feel there are two in the last 4 months where I've been looking for a switch. I think the two most important things were a knowing how to leverage your network. Everybody has a lot of LinkedIn networks and alum networks and your school networks. Knowing when to leverage what, I think that's the key thing which is there. And I think the second thing would be, and which is also one of the most important thing, is to pick yourself up when there is a rejection. I think that that's something which is very critical as well, because right now, especially in a recruiters market like this, there'll be a lot of rejection emails that you'll be getting more often than the interview emails. So picking yourself up after every rejection email, I think that's very, very important. So,
I think that's a great perspective, Costa, and it's really, really motivating. And I know that all of us in at some point in life have been in this position and probably would be, while we face the next transition in life. We do have another question for all of you guys, which is, which skill do you wish you had learned early in your career?
Decision making. It took me 8 months to put in my papers.
Oh my God, I have an anecdote on this. Can I share it with you?
Of course.
I recently did a poll on our WhatsApp community, and I asked folks which transferable skill is your superpower. And we had like 10 of those. There were a lot of people who responded. Decision making was the only one which was not picked up by anybody, including myself. And I was just so intrigued, and I was like, okay, so a lot of us really need to hone this skill in us, and that's where we did the tip of the week, etc., and we all sort of tried working upon it together. But really great perspective, Ashish. Decision making is crucial, also tough, but definitely important. Deepti, is there a skill that you wish you could have learned earlier?
I think delegation that comes with a lot of learning, and that saves you a lot of time, and give you a lot of bandwidth to focus on new strategic and new things. So delegation is very important.
Absolutely. And delegation not only in human forms, but delegation in, I think, technology as well. If you can use it somewhere to save time, do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Costa.
I think I'll say the same thing, which is keeping the audience engaged. I think that's something which is very, very pivotal. And I've uh, like ensuring that the person that you're talking to is able to trust you, that okay, we'll be getting the
Hmm.
job. I think that's very important in most of the jobs that anyone would probably be looking at.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, all of you. We'll wrap up here. Once again, we're very grateful for all the beautiful insights that you guys have shared. You took us through your professional journeys, great examples, your insights, and also I think your vulnerable sides as well were honestly shared during this chat, and we really appreciate that. Any last words?
Be curious.
Be
Yes.
curious, guys. Be curious.
Hardworking.
Hard
Hard
work.
work. Yeah.
Costa, sorry.
Uh, I think it covers most of it covers, but just that, like I think the name is right. Just be a degree above everybody else. So,
Oh my God. Thank you.
Oh,
We're all clapping here for this one. Thank you, guys. Allow us to help you get a degree above. Join our community. But also allow me to thank our wonderful panel today. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you,
thank you
Sanya.
so much. Have
Thank
a
you
good
for
day.
them.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks,
We'll
everyone.
see you at the next event.
Sure. Looking forward.